doctors and all, they'll mess you up because they have wrong opinion. Then you come back again, they got a second opinion. That makes you wonder, do they know what they're doing?
Yeah, we're going to find all those answers out today. We open up this divine me in the name of the divine creator. As-salam, as-salam, as-salam. In the name of the Al-Sufyan. Oh, we back. The Lord got us back. So our subject matter is the biology of deceit. The biology of deception. We get to find out today where it all began. Spiritually and physically. We're going to cover the spiritual side first. Get that spiritual truth in the mind. So the mind can hold this truth as the awareness. And then we're going to go into the physical side and show how before you were born, people made a pact. People made an oath to sell you and me out.
What you say?
And we're going to let that speak for itself so you can see it for yourself. So we're going to cover the spiritual part with Sufa 104, the owner. This is where they get the hope from. If y'all heard of that concept of hope, they get the concept of hope from the Al-Mo.
Hope, turning.
Oh, yes. And we finna find out the science behind that to increase our mind to the divine mind. All right. 1, as it is written, O you believe. O you who believe. Let it be said, Al-Mo. 2, the one, the true, the only owner of all things.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Only?
the only owner of all things. Uh-oh. We're finna get to this science of the divine mind. 3, the first designer. Everything got a design now. See, everything that you see ain't from the first designer.
Right on.
Some come to designer well, designer gear. That ain't the first designer. Oh, we see where this wordplay coming from. Where they say you got on designer.
So that's why so many people wrapped up in designer with these design clothes and
Clothes, cars, homes, brands.
That's right, name brand, and then that's what everybody go after and start chasing. My.
And who is the maker behind it? My. Oh, good one, great elder. We got the first creator as the next one. Ooh, the first. It don't get no sweeter. The first creator. The first steward. And from this, we got 4 and the 74th name. of a laws.
7 plus 4 equal 11.
Equal 11.
Right, back to what?
The one.
The opening.
The absolute.
The body heart.
The Almighty.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. 5. Let it be said, no man may claim. So this black, brown, white, purple, green, it don't matter. No man may claim to be the absolute owner of his land or house or cattle.
That's beautiful there.
Everybody's set free from the Al Sufyan. Ain't no slavery in Al Sufyan.
Sure enough ain't.
As we see, it's only one. The true. Remember, the prophet said there's only 2 things in this world, the truth and the falsehood.
That's what he said.
Now, which one sounds true to you? Which one is the truth to you? Number 6, if a man so arrogantly claim to be the one, the true, and the only ultimate owner, some people fit in that description.
Somebody in trouble.
Somebody is violating divine law.
That's right.
So if a man so arrogantly claim to be the one, the true, and the only ultimate owner, 7, arrest him. Now, we see where we get the concept from arrest. See, all this was in the Al Sufyan to govern all the people. And this is what your priesthood hid from all that came to in the name of religion. All for his selfish gain, for their selfish gain. And now these people hire other people to arrest people.
Sure does. I was just thinking about that.
And it says, cast him into the deepest pit. See, these people made jails. This is how the deception was born on a spiritual level.
Yes, indeed.
All of humanity was supposed to get the Al Sufyan. But the humanity never received it. So that left humanity being blindfolded for the upcoming new age. And look what we have here. Anyone who practice an evil practice, such as that, arrest them and cast them into the deepest pit for his deepest insult against the divine owner of all.
Look at that right there. Look at that right there. Before you go any further, I would just like to elaborate on this just a little bit. Because you can see deception right from the get-go. Let's back up a little bit and let's just talk about slavery, because owners, so-called owners, had slaves. And they wrote this in their books, they practiced this, they lived this, and they carried out this. And to back up what you just read, they would arrest the people who wanted to be free and was free from the land. They would come after them and kill them, cut the foot off, and chop it, arm, leg, head, or everything off. And when they left from that time in situation, Now they become more professionalism with it. So now everywhere you look, you have owners of football, owners of basketball, owners of hockey. The beat goes on, the list goes on. You got owners on Capitol Hill, and if you don't abide by what they wrote in the Constitution and all, then you could be arrested. And all this is against divine law. Every bit of it. How you hit the floor?
Every bit of it. And all these owners acting like they owners don't own dilly
wire. Don't own nothing.
See, all is this being make believe.
Sure is.
See, and this is what is called come out of her, meaning there's a second exodus to come out of her and come to this divine truth of your divine creator. When you read in the scriptures about the Pharisees and the Sadducees hiding the key to heaven, this is the keys that they hid. They didn't never want humanity to be exposed to the Al Sufyan.
They did.
They have made other books to replace this and give other foreign concepts to these books for our humanity to follow. See, so there's been a large gap in time. Ever since the 7th century forward, they was not ruling. So all what we have to understand is this had a beginning. And the beginning was keeping you away from the Al Sufyan, therefore giving you another scripture that was not from the prophets, and now you got a believer. And now the believer will be under the guise of the instructions that was handed down, thinking they from on high.
Right on.
And as you read these letter by letter, as we go number by number, these are written truths that are self-evident. And these is the truths that are self-evident that you must proclaim. Number 8, truly the madness and ignorance of the Persian and the merchants is revealed upon this very idea. The NFL owners, NBA owners, sports and entertainment, all these fields of operations, their owners will be considered the merchants.
That's right.
See, they never informed the people of divine law. They love to make cattle out of you.
Come on with it.
And then they put you on their team or their house. That's how they bring you in their house. Now you own the house. Everything you do for the house.
That's right.
Using money as a deflection, so you'll never want or pursue knowledge. So this is what we're going to see on our physical part. Our people who accepted this on the physical end are being rewarded by this merchant and by these Persians who are the Jews, dead. See, it's time for right and exactness of all wise wisdom to be exposed and to expose all deception in order for the totality of the planet and all humanity to live and be free under the living law of justice, as we was told and prophesied about. So 9 says the maniacs, through their filthy writings, claim to be their own idols. This is where we have
contracts, writing up contracts.
Yes, all of that. What they call celebrities today is called idols.
Yeah.
These people are working for people that own their operation.
That's correct.
So we want to understand, how do these people get into those physical places? It's because they denied a spiritual way of life. As they say, they were tempted by Satan.
That's right.
And here we come with number 10. These people who wrote these filthy writings, they claim the divine creator has abandoned the earth, y'all. How they say abandoned homes.
Yeah.
They say the divine creator has abandoned the earth.
How could that be when the sun still shines?
This is why they got people waiting. And what people waiting for? On God.
Yep, waiting on them.
Meaning God has abandoned the earth and they waiting for God to return. This is what's in their writings.
Yep.
To confuse you from the true and only one owner. See, these books or these filthy writings have been placed in front of you for you to believe, to extract from your divine mind. These texts were supposed to raise us up to divinity. And if these scriptures ain't got nobody divine yet, walking in godliness, you call it, that's divinity, then they are in filthy writings, which leads to unclean and non-pure. And for a body to be clean, the water must be pure. If the water not pure, the body not clean. If you get baptized in dirty water, you ain't gonna feel clean. You need clean, fresh. We call it fresh water. See, because these things that was written in their writings. And remember, pay attention to the words that's being used: Persian, merchants, and maniacs.
Yeah.
These people is the one that altered these writings and put these writings in places that you will later come to and believe they're holy and divine. See, the Bible is held up by an organization, and we're going to find all this out. The Quran is upheld by an organization, and we're going to find this out. These two books work cohesively for them to lure you in. These debates they bring to lure you in. So one of these baits is that the divine creator don't exist, has abandoned the earth. There is no God. This is all of the atheistic realm, including metaphysical atheism. Now, Levin points out the elephant in the room. And they submit to the demon. Now, these people that we're going to see made these buildings, made in these texts that's in these buildings, and everything that is formed around these buildings is formed to submit to a demon. They call the demon the Sabbath. So now you know it's written in your book. They call the seventh day the Sabbath day. So they've been writing their demon into scriptural form when this never existed. So you have something now people celebrate as a Sabbath.
Yeah.
So now we know the cat out the bag now. The true name of the demon is Sabbath, Sabbath. Sabaoth, y'all the brought these names Yahweh that you hear later come They come from this word Sabbath. So now 12 says, if this be so, talking about the divine creator has abandoned the earth, then even Sabbath, Sabbath, whom is their name, their name, their name for Satan, is not the owner. See, this is the game slip. This is why the biology of deception, who is the master deceiver? They called him Satan. See, if you don't know his real name, that ain't what they told you in the Bible, Satan. See, these are make-believes. It ain't what they tell you in the Quran, Iblis. See, these are make-believe. His true name is Sabbath. And the people who participate in this know what I'm saying.
Goodness gracious.
This is what goes down on Eyes Wide Shut. In any ceremonial activity, this is in worship of the Sabbath. The AI you have today, technology, all this is to worship the Sabbath. If they didn't tell you about divine law, this tell you who these people are. Demon worshipers. And this is what we have to make clear. And the only way we can make clear is by starting at the beginning.
I just want to say, because what you're saying is so true. When you were saying that, all I could do is reflect that every Sunday, what they call the Sabbath, is when everybody really go wholehearted and put everything in it to worship on Sabbath day. And the majority, not the minority, the majority of the people this day, as I speak, is doing that.
Yeah, I'm glad you point out. That's how we get back up to the maniacs and the Persians and the merchants. These the people got everybody doing it. And these people would be today known as Christians and Jews.
That's correct.
Who worship the Sabbath on a Saturday? The Jewish community. Who worship Sabbath on a Sunday? Christian community. This is where they getting those powers from. Something called the Sabbath. And it gets way deeper and worse than that. This is where you get today's all the child kidnapping. Anything happening to children and children being sacrificed or kidnapped or trafficked, this is what it's for. These people think the divine creator has abandoned the earth. This is their claim. This they claim to fame, y'all. And if you as a creation from the creator, if you wait on the universe to do it, then there is no creator. The name of the game was to get the people in the wait mode. So now they can take over, and they need it in a form of religion first, so they can wrap up the people's minds. And they did it through their filthy writings, where these words are located in these scriptures. Satan, Sabbath, Iblis. Here's the truth. 13. We all be stewards and custodians of this life, the land, and the animals. So if we be the stewards and the custodians, what are they? They playing as the stewards and the custodians. They're using your rights of divine use. And you're going to find out they took away your divine rights. Hear me clear now. Divine rights. And they're going to give you a substituted version. Take out the 5-star superstar and give you the underrated. And then tell you it's called human rights. You've never been told that there's a set of divine rights that is for all humanity called the Al Sufyan that restores all souls to their creator. If our knowledge of divinity is not running the planet, look what happens when non-divinity runs the planet. Idolaters, murderers, adulterers, everything unfit and unclean. Let's see if this sounds any familiar. 14, thus, when that's how we said or spell white man in the past. Oof man was white man. And his military seize and destroy cities.
That's correct.
You're going to hear mentioned in the video of Tulsa, Oklahoma. These people, the white man, his military, they own nothing. They are imposters using make-believe and getting your mind to believe in make-believe. 15, they are a tool of Allah, despite their blasphemy. This is the knowledge of self. How are you going to know you have knowledge of self if you don't have a tester? Someone who is unjust, not made in the nature of just, to see now if you unjust. So a tool, the white man is, the military is, everything they claim to own. This is a tool to see and for you to see. 16, it is why then a man must have witness to his right of custody of an animal or land. Witness. No one witnessed him take anything. He claimed. So now we're going to start seeing how did he start getting witnesses. 17, his neighbors must be able to testify to the truth of his good conduct and fairness as well as possession. "18, a claim is nothing without good character and truth." See, and this is what later on become a worshipful master. Can't do no wrong. Can't get in trouble. His neighbors must be able to testify to the truth of his good conduct. See, and this is where the brotherhood began. And this plot thickens on the physical side. This is the spiritual overturning to create a doctrine that will now indoctrinate the believers that walk in that way. So we leave off with 18. A claim is nothing. Remember this, no matter where you go, a claim is nothing without good character and truth. To discover anything is a claim. Anything that is saying it has an owner is a claim. And now we have a better scientific, mathematical understanding of the first creator. Flesh gonna come in and try to tempt you to bow down to flesh. But flesh ain't the divine mind. So now we cover the spiritual side. Now we're going to go to the physical side. And we have a video from Truthunedited. We appreciate your words. So we're going to watch this video and we finna understand the physical side of how the spiritual deception became physical. And this is all before we was born, before 2000 and 1900s. So keep in mind as we understand as it play forward. And we may pause it here and there. Enjoy. Is it on that?
Hit that front foot in. Hit the don't turn it up. Yeah.
Let's see.
There you go.
Okay.
We all say answer you.
You gotta know where it began. All our elders know about this.
What does Booker T. Washington, Thurgood Marshall, Richard Pryor, Sugar Ray Robinson, Mandela, Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Medgar Evers, Nat King Cole, Reverend Calvin Butts, James Clyburn, Benjamin Crump, Elijah Cummings, Don King, Roland Martin, Michael Jordan, Ricky Smiley, Tom Joyner, Bill Cosby, and Steve Harvey all have in common besides being black men. Well, if you looked at the title of the video, I guess you figured out that they are all Prince Hall Freemasons. Trust me, the list goes on and on. We are in the month America likes to say they're celebrating Black history. But while they speak on our history, the truth that's always given, it's always edited. For instance, if I told the story of Black people in America and left out their time in captivity being slaves, people would aggressively accuse me of leaving out or editing our history. Yet, after slavery, the story of Black people in America has become seriously edited, and there's very little fuss about it, because most people just don't know. In everyone's eyes, we basically went from slaves to fighting for civil rights, to prominent Blacks in all facets of the country, to now people claiming there's equality. That's the story that most people want to believe.
Change has come to America.
But the truth is that this version of history is extremely edited. There is something that must be understood in modern-day Black history, particularly in America. Without it, you miss a very big side of history that will always leave you blinded and confused and led astray into rebellion. There is no modern day Black history without Prince Hall Freemasons. There is no Black History Month without understanding Prince Hall Freemasons. Mostly everything that we know today in our American Black culture has been cultivated and steered by Prince Hall Freemasons. They are literally an unseen hand of Black America. So we can no longer just go through the cycle of speaking about Black History Month and not discussing the real shakers of this Black history. We all need to know about Prince Hall Freemasonry. Let's begin. So maybe exactly what is Freemasonry? If you don't understand what Freemasonry is, I may spout it specifically again. This video is not about the overall religion of Freemasonry. The symbols, who they serve, and why, you can form your own educated opinion about the religion/organization. The unfortunate truth is that too many people form their opinions without this information. This information is very important to know because if you do happen to step on this side of information and then recognize how much influence Freemasons have had on our culture and our way of life, how many prominent men of our society have been Freemasons, the information may be used as a recruitment tool for them because they frame it all as accomplishments and stories of empowerment. But understanding Freemasonry and then understanding the true bloodline of many of these men who became Prince Hall Masons, it moves from a vantage point of empowerment and excess to just selling out. Our history today has made heroes out of those we should be looking at as villains. But again, this video is not about Freemasonry. We need to discuss the hidden role the religion/organization called Freemasonry has had on our society as a whole. Because whether it or not, Prince Hall Freemasonry is a backbone of the Black community. And even if you're not a part of the community, you must understand that there is an edited side of the story that they are not telling. I'm sure many are not aware that in Black America, since the ending of the Civil War, Freemasonry was used as a tool for cultural improvement and advancement. It is what Blacks in America clung to as the source of equality, freedom, and justice. There will be no civil rights movement in America without. And maybe your initial thought is to cheer them on for it. But what if these goals and movements were less about equality and freedom and more about rebellion, walking away from our creator in a different form of slavery? We'll get to that. Either way, like I said earlier, the story of Black America cannot be accurately and fully told without recording the impact that Prince Hall Freemasonry had upon Black society. Behind nearly every pivotal turn in the history of Black America, Prince Hall Freemasons may be found, especially in the Black church. A source that I'm going to be using from this book is a book from David Gray titled Inside Prince Hall. The foundation of Prince Hall Freemasonry was laid between 1775 and 1847. On March 6, 1775, 15 civilians were initiated in the Freemason Grand Lodge of Ireland, Lodge number 441, which had a lodge chartered in Boston, Massachusetts. These 15 men were Negroes from the Boston area. One of them was named Prince Hall. Now, it's important to know it wasn't the American Freemasons who initiated these men, but the lodges in England. In 1776, independence between America and England, the 15 Black men, including Prince Hall, formed themselves into a lodge which was called African Lodge Number 1, under the leadership of Prince Hall. There is a 300-page book known as Prince Hall's Letter Book, which provides much of the records about all of this and how the African lodges grew and spread. African Lodge, under leadership of Prince Hall, was held in high regard in the general community, aside from the racists who opposed them because of their color and their race. The lodge was particularly attractive to leaders in the Black community. It showed a different type of Black man that was not seen in this country before then. Hall established 2 new lodges, one in Providence, Rhode Island, and the other in Philadelphia. Remember Philadelphia because they are important for another subject. African Lodge of Boston.
The time period, Super Bowl, keep in mind.
Continued to meet and grow in numbers. And Prince Hall remained its master until his death on December 4th, 1807. Prince Hall was succeeded as master of African Lodge by Nero Prince. It is claimed that in 1808, representatives of the 3 lodges, African Lodge of Boston, African Lodge of Philadelphia, and African Lodge of Providence, met together and organized an African Grand Lodge with Nero Prince as the Grand Master. And they changed the name from African Lodge to Prince Hall Grand Lodge in memory of Prince Hall. And they started expanding, adding more lodges. And this was the foundation of what is now Prince Hall Freemasonry. Now, it's important to note that the Masons were not considered equal amongst their white brothers, and they were barred entrance as members in the great majority of white lodges. And this was a huge expansion was necessary. The lodge started to be used as an institution of union and social uplift in the Black community. In a Masonic-run country, joining this institution, uplifting the Black community and finding ties with their oppressors. They joined the great plan to serve the architect or God. And that goal and alliance in the end superseded the hate because of their race or bloodline, because it was a clear declaration that they were on their side. But it's not like they did not deal with racism. To a great extent, the Prince Hall Masons were isolated from white masonry, although they seem to have learned and emulated many of the customs and usages of the neighboring lodges and grand lodges, so that they may speak in general terms of American Masonic practice without having to distinguish between Prince Hall and mainstream when comparing other countries. The foundation that Prince Hall laid was the beginning of the rise of the Negro in America. Yet this story is seldom told in our history books and in our schools. I wonder why. If it was such a noble and admirable thing, why isn't it told? But I digress.
One single video that's responsible for leading over 2,000 Christian men to permanently quitting.
There are a lot of details on how they grew, but the details are inconsequential. They grew and gathered Black men into their organizations. Here's the thing that needs to be understood. This is the foundation of where the confusion comes from in the Black community. You look at the Black community today and you see leadership in many different types of roles: business leaders, politicians, civil rights leaders, etc. But it was not always so. If the white Masons were in power and they had a problem with even recognizing the Prince Hall Masons, then it's obvious that moving into these high roles in American society, it would have taken some time. So what did the Prince Hall Masons do? Because they were still leaders in their own community. You see, there was a huge attachment to the Black church. And if you ever want to understand how things are so bad in the church today, you should understand that from the start, when the foundations of the Negro church in America was being built, it was already contaminated. Many of the Black churches across the country were being run by Freemasons. In my research, it is said it is a normal for the opening and closing prayers in a Prince Hall Lodge or social function in the name of Jesus, and to include other exclusively Christian phrases during the prayer. It is Prince Hall Grand Lodge of California practices a craft, that means Masonic, ritual, which actually mentions Jesus. But it is a normal routine for Christian hymns to be sung during the opening and closing and during degree ceremonies and social affairs. It would not be unusual to hear or read of a Prince Hall Grand Master referring to the Prince Hall Masonic Order as a Christian organization, or members of the fraternity to say that only a good Christian can make a good Mason. Prince Hall Masons carry on in their religious manner, while at the same time they claim to adhere to Mackey's 25 landmarks and to the ancient charges of Anderson's constitutions. The 19th and 21st of Mackey's landmarks and the first of Anderson's charges concerning God and religion clearly speak of Freemasonry being a fraternity that is adaptable to man, regardless of his religion. And no Prince Hall Grand Lodge claims in its constitution to be exclusively a Christian Grand Lodge. I mean, there are some non-Christian members, mainly Muslims.
Some of you are minors studying the secret wisdom of God in your lodges. But your lodge,
and they're accommodated at least to the extent of being able to use the altar. It's ironic because in his book, The Secrets of Freemasonry, Elijah Muhammad writes, "A Mason cannot be a good Mason unless he knows the Holy Quran and follows its teachings." This book is the only book that will make a true Mason. The influence is everywhere. The point I make is that Masons have completely infiltrated the Black church. This is not giving credibility to other churches in America because they have been infiltrated as well. And I believe this is even easier to tell. But this is something specific to the Black church, and it must be known because the Black church has always been the staple of the community. And there are things that our parents and our grandparents and great grandparents just did not know because it was hidden from them. Now, true, if they had actually followed the word and aligned it with seeing from the pulpit, perhaps things wouldn't have gotten so crazy today. But unfortunately, this was not the case. There were many Masons in the church, and they had no problem speaking on Jesus, calling on his name, singing hymns, giving tithes, etc., which is pretty much the black churches look for when identifying a brother or sister in the faith.
So, on behalf of myself and the St. Paul Church family, we would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fathers, we depart from this place, but never from your presence. We pray that the communion of the Holy Spirit will rest, rule, and abide with each.
And they do all this even though these Masons have taken oaths and pledges and done rituals that completely contradict the scriptures that they say that they believe in.
This and all other prayers we say in the Son Jesus Christ.
Listen, if you're looking for someone to just say Jesus and say that they believe in him and sing some songs, you can easily be deceived. You see, in the South, initially slaves were not allowed to hold any religious service on their own. Religious services were either held by some members of the master's household or they were done in secret, controlling what they knew or remembered from past generations. When slaves did become allowed to hold independent religious service, this became their first taste of freedom and independent thought, except the false seeds were already planted in them by this time. The church really served as a guide for moral conduct and control for blacks. The seeds of deep loyalty to the church, not Yahuwah, early within the black community. Negro spirituals were the method by which the slaves attempted to find meaning for their lives, and at the same time escape their horrible existence. Their identity was wiped away from them and then reprogrammed back in with some crucial parts missing. Now, I'm going to go over the black church independently, but let me give you some facts here. In the late 1770s, the black church movement began with the founding of the first African Baptist churches in South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. A key factor in the Christianization of Prince Hall Freemasonry was the founding of the African Methodist Episcopal, AME Church in Philadelphia in 1816 by Richard Allen. This was the first national organization created by blacks. Richard Allen was a Prince Hall Freemason. The AME is a Masonic
Stuff going in. Right, all this gold. You see how it's black, African, and now you see why Noble Drew Ali ain't mentioned.
I see exactly. I was thinking when you were playing that, and I kept thinking that right there. And no wonder they had to get rid of Noble Drew Ali.
You see why?
The only one.
The only one.
Wasn't going on with it.
The only one.
And Farrakhan doing the same thing now, carrying
You
out.
see,
Him
yeah,
and
he
all
was
the
on
preachers.
the video.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where you get this from.
Yeah.
The boy,
Lord son did. And I thank him for making it. And yes. We finish this up. Just the biology of how physically we got the seed.
All got stuff. It's still carrying out today.
Yeah, it's still carrying out today. We see it now. Clearly, we can see it once we know this knowledge.
And now, you see why the rich brothers and sisters look like us ain't studying us and ain't helping the poor because they still go ahead.
Yeah, and that print,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yep, we gotta finish the video. We got about over 10 minutes.
Mm. There. Good. Cool. On the ground. That's right.
Right. Everybody they made popular to us was a part of the Masons.
That's right.
And they want to put home $20 bill or something like that. Why
Yeah.
would they even put that on
Yeah.
the
Yeah. You trap still being seen.
That's what all the celebrities are.
Mm-hmm. And now you see why. All them coons on TV you see, mean us no good. Because they carrying out. And
Carrying out this
and
agenda.
all them coons you see work for a company they call CNN and ESPN. There's an owner sitting behind that. They got the coons on TV talking to you. To keep you
To persuade you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To join them all.
3 things they use. We catch it: slavery, the church, and education. So they need you dumb.
Sure enough.
A dumbed down
Yes, sir.
education.
Yeah.
Dumbing us.
Now, let's just talk about this. Now, look how, and I don't even know how when I say this, but when we look at Georgia and Jessica, they're so proud of their child getting a 4.0. That's good. Because now, you see what's going on here. And they're going to ruin all our children with the education system. You can see it.
That's why I say it's ruined, because nobody ain't coming forward. The people who've done this ain't coming forward to let you know don't do it or not do it or this is the outcome. So the children are already affected.
Yeah.
Now if they don't get no knowledge of how to get themselves out of it, this is where the black society remains away from the word of the Most High. See, and none of these people know about the Al Sufyan. This was the marketed goal to keep this out of the people of the higher minds' hands. Because we finna make the world know this is the true spreading of divinity.
That's right.
Not subjugation and slavery. No creator allows this. As we continue.
Mm. Goodness gracious.
Bingo is named after elves on 84.
Yeah, the Elks Club. The Royals, the Order of the Eastern Star, them little sister they done wrapped up in there.
All this is
The
a part
Knights.
of it.
Yeah.
All this is a part of it. It's all around. When you go in the city, that's all you will see.
Yeah, that's
This
all you
is
see.
where it started from.
That's right. Okay. Mm, mm, yeah, mm, yeah. Mm.
Remember what they say is not what you know, but who you know. That was the Mason sign.
Mm.
They say a lot of these people, the rappers and singers and things, they can't get on this fraternity that put them on.
That's
They have
right.
this networking, underground network.
That's right.
Now you
Some
see.
That's right.
fraternities.
Now you see for yourself.
And mention of Barry Gordon, you see how everybody had to come under to him? That's what was going on then.
Yeah.
He was the owner of the rights and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Juba right behind him.
You got instant access on. It's a whole brotherhood, fraternity.
Yeah.
They started moving with singing and dancing.
Yeah.
And all that. That's what made you want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you see what it really means. What you really a part of.
Man.
They ain't telling you the whole story.
No.
This is how we begin to fail. This is why we failing right now.
That's right.
All this secrecy.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Oh,
You can go there and see it from themselves. They call it later. Man.
Yeah.
Hey, the truth is
You know,
here.
man, on that parade, boy.
Now all this should make sense now. How it done turned from spiritual
man, it don't get no plain
to
and day
physical.
like that right there.
That's the biology of deception.
Mm-hmm. My. Boy, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It is.
That's putting it together.
That's putting it
And
together.
now, reading both Bible and Quran, and what we have today is self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory.
And now you see why the beat goes on. The wrong beat goes on with what they doing. And we ain't benefit. And then you wonder why all this time we've been calling on God, Jesus, no answer. Yeah. All we have is hope and waiting. My mind. And now when we look at the ownership, they own everything, the falsehoods, and got everybody want to come there and be part of that. And all this material world you see now, it's best to just stay away from it, leave it alone, man. And be at peace. Because then I got to thinking about something last night. And how everybody going at the material world and just leaving their body, their soul, their spirit. Don't even care about it. They abuse it just to get the material world. You know, by working all the time. And you look at merchants and jobs, that's what destroyed our family, because now everybody wants to go and get a good job, paying job, and leave their husband behind or leave their wife behind and leave their children behind, and they spend all the time at the job. And this is, and then they holler about single parents home. You done started with that.
They are. Everything should make sense now.
They are. That's right.
That's all they do is Masons and Eastern Stars. That's only if they black and they open something.
They are that.
They are that. That's right.
I know for me, it's just that. I ain't gonna make nothing up.
I've never been in a church that had it on the forefront. Everybody saying they was Mason or Eastern Star.
Right, you'll never see it on the front, on the face value. That's what's the secret in the inside.
So if they're never, so you said every church is there for Mason.
Yeah, right. Who running it? You got someone over it.
If that's the case, I'm just saying, as far as this hidden world of world that's behind the church, there's nobody gonna say anything about this. No,
that's what I'm saying.
Nobody
ain't said nothing all the way up to this point.
Nobody don't think that's
I know I do, and in my generation, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Your veil is covered up.
It's just how many years people gonna keep going?
And how many years you gonna keep going
I
around?
mean, I've already seen it and chosen not to be a part of the church and all of that. You know what I'm just saying as a whole. If this is something that's just so known, because I haven't heard people speak about that.
That's why I'm making it clear. That's why I'm showing it. So I'm putting it live so everybody can see. Because nobody want to make this stuff known.
I can understand older, like your generation or something. I mean, the older you are, of course they're gonna start trying to bring you into it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the younger generation, that's not something that's.
They wasn't brought on and come all up into that.
Right, they're not. And then as far as them now, they're not getting in the church. They
We far from that. That's what I'm saying.
How the Masons gonna recruit now certain statement because they ain't gonna be getting them out of churches.
All right.
That's why they
My
created all this other stuff too.
My question is how I will never be tricked.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why
Those who before me tricked me.
That's right.
I wouldn't care about what anything. If it ain't coming from the divine creator, divine law, get out of here.
Yeah.
Cause you ain't got nothing in life. You ain't got no knowledge. You ain't got no light. You can't help anything, but you sold out all your children and you tell them to go get a job. And this is systematic. This is dark magic on your children because it was placed on you. And now everybody is suffering. And instead of coming to the light, people want to stay in the dark.
That's right.
People can want jobs and do all that stuff. That stuff, if you see, is based in masonry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if your creator can afford you, create you, then you should know why you haven't been given the true teachers like what's going down here. This is what I mean. This took 18 years for me to get to the way.
Right on.
From all this junk.
Oh, that's all.
And then I still got to hear about what they going. I know I'm not a part of they.
As far as that part, what I'm talking about, what they was gonna do, this is to know how you gonna teach the generation coming up on how they gonna try to infiltrate or trick them. Because we're not gonna have to go through the same things that they're going through, but we're gonna have to know how they gonna go after them. They're going after them to set their phones, tablets, the internet period. What other ways? Music, movies, TV shows. I mean, all type of other ways that they choosing now. Because I mean, they sure not gonna get in the church.
Okay. Here's the mind. Answer to that. Remember what you said. The three institutions was the slavery, the church, and the education. The young folks ain't going to church no more. And they say they wasn't born as slaves because they were shackled. So the last thing would be the school system. See where everybody going now? See where we had to go and pick up the child from now? The same thing, man. This is the here. We gotta get them out of there. And like you said, the only way is KOS.
It's the only way.
The only way, cause we ain't teaching none of this. You talking none of that.
I'm not a part of no. I'm making this clear online. I'm not part of no. I'm not
part
part of
of
no
that.
organization.
Yeah.
I'm not part of no fraternity. I'm not part of anything. I do all this on my own. It's my own research. It's my own time. This is my own effort for me to find out the truth. So without my own effort, I wouldn't know none of this stuff.
Right.
Ain't nobody bringing this forward.
Right.
This is why I say I was raised, you either part of the problem or you part of the solution. And I back away from the problem once you find out what the problem is. So when we're talking about your parents is the problem, this is where it all begins.
Yes. What they teach.
Your grandparents the problem. Ain't nobody else lying to you and keeping this out from you except your peoples.
That's right.
Your peoples is the problem. This
right.
is why Jesus said that if the parents didn't understand, it was going to be a division because truth is going to come out to light.
So no more.
And when you sold your children out, when your children find out you sold them out to Satan, you won't never have your children again. You come from the Creator. And to ruin the opportunity for a personal gain, and for friendship or homeboy aggrandizement, or for sisterhood, well, we got baby mamas now. Baby fathers, this was never a thing. So this is worse than worse. And if it's not made known, it can't even get better.
You making it known? I can truly say that. I can truly say that.
Get it online. And then this the last part, then we're going to wrap it up. Because the next part is the Hebrew Israelites. The Hebrew Israelites. Yes, we are Hebrews, but not Israelites. And we got to prove this and make this clear. because this is what the new young generation is going with. That we Hebrew Israelites. So the 73 say, when a man or a woman seeks to cling to office, that's any office, church, lodge, or education, through the use of ignorance, force, and fear, denying their dependency on legitimacy from the divine creator and divine law, then no action or decree can be regarded as lawful, and their tenure can only hold, what you were saying, hold as long as their power holds. So as long as the world is educated to be a fool, their power will hold. You come and get this divine knowledge called KOS, their power is no longer.
That's right.
It's time for you to have your power back.
Right on.